Greater Coosa Valley Chamber of Commerce Director T.R. Tom Roberts with us for a few minutes this morning. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us today. What's going on with the Chamber of Commerce in Childersburg?
Oh, goodness gracious. What is it going on? Right now, we're having a run on ribbon. We've got a couple of specific dates and times that I want to tell you about for ribbon cuttings, but trust me, that's just the start. We've got a good handful already finishing up buildings, getting ready to open, and such as that. Speaking of getting ready to open, the weather's slowed them up a little bit of the new jacks on 280, but got word yesterday that the Chamber's going to be hosting interviews for a new staff for jacks. We're going to set that up hopefully today and let folks know what day and time that they'll be available to interview folks for their new staff, plus a lot of other business activity that's getting ready to open in downtown.
Now, yesterday, you had the Chamber Coffee yesterday?
Yes, sir. Great crowd over at Cadence Bank, and it inspired Janice Groves over at Renaissance Bank downtown Childersburg to go ahead and get started because she's got next month. So she went ahead and put it out that the second Tuesday of next month, September, is going to be the 11th, and that's her day at 8:30. She's looking for a big crowd.
That 280 quarter, very busy anyway, but it's about to get super busy with football starting.
Oh, it is, and hopefully they'll do the lane changing, get all the new portion of the bridge finished up, and that will eliminate the traffic light there at the Childersburg-Fayetteville Highway and First Street, Highway 76. That'll be great for folks going through because they'll be able to cruise right on through. For the rest of us, it turns a nightmare situation because it's going to be difficult getting around.
Have you kind of eyed it out to see what some of the best avenues might be?
Well, I have for myself, and I've got a couple of ideas that I'm about to try out because I have to get on 280 to get into Childersburg, and just going to have to pick my spots as to where you can get on. I'm going to try to, I'm probably going to go back down past the high school and up Brandon Road and come out by CACC. That's going to be my best route. Others will take the road right there by Allen's. Others will take Plant Road and go down Forest Hills, and you know, there are places along there. It's same thing on the other side of the road, Flagpole Mountain Road. They're down there doing some work on it to try to get it ready for some heavier traffic. And there are a couple of other routes you can be able to take. And that's going to be temporary. It's a long temporary because they will move all the traffic over, all 4 lanes over onto the new bridge. And there's not going to be much but a yellow line separating folks for the time being. That's while they build the new portion of the bridge and raise it and widen that intersection on the existing portion of 280. So that should go fairly quickly because they have less work to do in that the footings and all the things that they need to support the bridge are pretty much in place, and it's going to be a little bit easier, but still going to be about a year or so, and that's going to be not pretty.
in traveling last week, I saw firsthand about how the workers are so close to the roadways. And man, you got to be very, very careful about going through areas like that. And
both Childersburg City Police as well as state troopers and even some help from the county on occasion have been out in force giving out tickets, and they're double fines during working hours, and the idea is to slow people down, but that's one of the things that's already making it tough for locals to get onto and off of Highway 280 at the current time, Jimmy Dale, because people are coming in so quickly from the outside areas from both directions and having to pretty much just slam on the brakes when they get to the work zone. So it's not, I don't want to try to make it seem like it's going to be nothing. It'll be temporary. but it's going to be so much better in the long run. The problem we have is that you've got a lot of traffic, and they're having to do some things different than they normally do, whether they're locals or people passing through or people coming to visit. All those things are going to get tough. They're going to get bad before they get better, but they are going to get better.
A big dose of patience is going to be needed for that.
That's
sure.
it. Just be safe, be aware, turn your phone off. Don't be distracted by anything. Because there's going to be traffic problems, and we need to learn how to deal with it, even on a temporary basis.
Got a big event going on in Childersburg today.
Absolutely. This is something that the director of the library, Susan Carpenter, she looked at their situation. She saw something on the news about an active shooter situation, and she looked. Their main desk is right at the front door, and she said, if somebody comes in with a trench coat and pulls out a weapon, what are we going to do? Well, she went out in search of answers, and she's sharing that with the community. She wanted to be able to, arrange for everything and everybody. So she asked for advance notice, but we can squeeze 3 or 4 more in, I'm absolutely certain. That's an active shooter protocol. She's got Roger Humber from ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. He's an expert, and he's going to be bringing information, and basically preparedness is important in this situation and publicity of preparedness, because that helps. Somebody's bound and determined to be an active shooter, let them go someplace else.
Give them 10 o'clock this morning?
10 o'clock this morning.
Okay. Tom Roberts, our guest this morning. And tomorrow on this show, we'll have some folks from the first annual Jerry Studdard Rodeo, and I know you're heavily promoting that. That's coming this weekend.
Yes, sir. It's down at Cedar Creek Cowboy Church, 6700 Childersburg, Fayetteville Highway. It's the first annual Jerry Studdard Memorial Rodeo, and they've got all sorts of great pricing and a lot of fun things. One thing for the kids on Saturday afternoon, so go on Facebook and look it up, and they can give you all the complete information, but that's something to honor a passion of the late, great Sheriff Jerry Studdard. It was something he had a passion for.
He was a sheriff for many terms here in Tallahassee County.
Absolutely.
Sure. Do you see the market day slowing down any right now?
Absolutely. We're picking up. Now, we could use more and better tomatoes, but I've been told by 2 of our farmers that that's coming quickly. Hopefully one of them from Alpine, Nancy, will have some, her tomatoes, or new tomatoes, weren't quite ready this last week, but we've added lunch for those folks that don't want to make a choice between getting fresh produce and other goodies. Let them come eat lunch, and we've got Little J's Big Dogs, so hot dogs for lunch.
All right. Tom Roberts from Greater Coosa Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Now, we also have, I alluded to this earlier, ribbon cutting that's coming up this Friday, a 2-day grand opening, Friday and Saturday, at the new Sweet Pickens. That's formerly Childersburg Pickers in the old, I believe it was Fred's building downtown. On 280 over by Old Town Grill. And Patty and Huey Scarver are the new owners. He also owns Service Master Janitorial. They're going to be cutting the ribbon on that. And it's antiques, collectibles, and now that Patty has taken over, a lot of different kinds of classes that she's scheduling. So if you have a desire to be a little on the creative side, she's got you covered. Let her know, and she'll help arrange some classes. But she's a person that goes a wee bit on the overboard side preparing. She was supposed to be with me this morning, but she's got so many things on her plate getting ready for this weekend's grand opening and ribbon cutting. Ribbon cutting will be Friday at 12:20. That way, if folks have lunchtime, they can finish up with whatever they're doing and still have time to get over there and help us cut the ribbon. But that's going to be the first of many, many ribbon cuttings we've got. The new Lakeside Stone, a new security surveillance business downtown, and I Spy. Things are really kicking into pretty good gear.
All right. Tom Roberts, our guest this morning, the president of the Greater Coosa Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I know you were excited about the Tiger Fest that took place this past weekend too.
I got there early and got set up, and I was thinking, wow, this crowd isn't very big. And then I realized we were still 45 minutes from the start of it, and lo and behold, a whole bunch of folks showed up in Childersburg. Folks came out and support. We could use a few more vendors out there to show support for those kids, but the football team was awfully fired up. They feel good about who they are and what they have to offer, and I know that they're going to be on TV 47 a couple of times this year, and they're looking forward to that. They want to earn their respect.
Well, certainly they had a good season last year, made the playoffs for the first time in a while, and look forward to being better again this year. Now, the Greater Coosa Valley Chamber of Commerce, right before we go, is not just for Childersburg businesses either.
Well, the situation is this, Jimmy Dale, that all throughout South Talladega County, we've got the Highway 280 corridor, whether it be Sylacauga, Oak Grove, or Childersburg. And the realization is that we're surrounded by an awful lot of people and places that don't have as much as we do. So when it comes to working, to shopping, to eating out, to going to school, a lot of those people gravitate toward those three communities. And we felt it imperative that we become inviting of those people, get them to feel welcome in our community. And it also means picking up some business members. Just for an example, TMH lifts, they do forklifts. Well, that's something that is so big to all of our industry around this area. Everybody's using forklifts, the right on time delivery system, and connecting them with the industries and the people that use those forklifts is vital. So they recognize that and came and joined us. And there are a lot of other things, like we were talking about Sweet Pickens and their grand opening. Well, they're part of a system that is kind of like a trail of antiques, collectibles, and other things like that. And there are a number of them just across the river. There are some down here in Sylacauga, and we need to make a big deal out of the collectiveness of that, because that helps attract more people, more shoppers, that if you know you can come and shop 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, the more you have, the more people are going to come to take advantage and look and shop. And that's what we're about.
All right, let's do it again next week.
Absolutely.
Greater Coosa Valley Chamber of Commerce President Tom Roberts, our guest this morning on Daybreak, every Wednesday here on the show. More in a minute.